Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this DIY skull ornament. It's inspired by Aurelio Voltaire's his CreepMas collection from the book of Gothic homemaking. And first thing that I did was I went ahead and dry brushed these skulls. They were already black, so I was able to skip a step. And I dry brushed them in silver with the acrylic paint. And basically with dry brushing, what you're doing is you're taking your paint, putting it on the brush, you're getting a good bit of it already off, and then just going over it with on the object that you want dry brushed. Now all of those that I wanted are already done. We skipped that step. So now what we're going to need for the rest of this project, for your tools, what I'd like to use is pliers to go with the eye hooks. It makes it a little bit easier putting these on. You're going to need a pair of pliers to cut the wire. You're going to need a ruler so that way you can measure out how long of the ribbon that you want with that. I'm a little extra, so I like to use a lighter on the edges of the ribbon to help keep them from fraying. You're going to want your ribbon. I chose to go in black and red for a little bit of variation. Some scissors also to cut the ribbon. And whatever accents you choose to use is perfectly fine. I'm going with these darker red berries for the accent to be like the holly berries. And then I also picked up this pick where it has like different variations on the types for the leaves that are going to go on top of the head. All right. Probably should have did this before the video, but it's okay. So basically, this is one that I've already started with like the previous bits here. So you're going to take it, be careful of the sharp edges because this is wire. And while my gun is warming up, oh yes, you're going to want to get a hot glue gun and then some sticks to be able to hold those in place. And if you like to be a little bit extra too, you can also use these bows to kind of help put everything together to make it Christmassy. Because, you know, you got to have a little bit of red with Christmas. If you want to, you don't have to. But I like to. Alright, so I'm clipping these off. I decided to go with accents for 2 at a time. So now we're done with this piece. We're going to put it away. And then I'm going to figure out which I'd like to use for that. I think we're going to go with this one. So I'm going to kind of like pull it out and cut it down to the length that I want. And we're going to pull off a second one. Cut that also. That part is going to be messy, but it's okay. We can sweep it up and clean it later. All right, so we got our 2 pieces here. All right, and basically you're going to like stretch it out so that way it's easier. Smooth it out so that way it's easier to put these pieces onto it with the hot glue. And basically I'm just like testing out how I want these to lay on here, because then if I want to make it shorter, then I can snip this and make it shorter, which I might end up doing. I kind of like it at that length. That's just this reference how the length it was on this one was a little bit shorter and this one's longer. So I might do the same with this. I don't know yet. Just kind of figuring that out. Set that away. But while we are still waiting on the gun to warm up, let me show you how to put the bead on it. So I got these little eyelets off of Amazon. They come in like a 300 pack, so you will have more than plenty. Just going to take one out. And I found it was easier to use these pliers that have like the rubber part to help get that in there, unless you think to pre-drill, which I didn't. Basically, I'm going to find a spot on the top of the skull, and I'm going to take this and kind of push it in and twist at the same time to screw it in place. This year, I was really disappointed with how things went for Halloween with the craziness with the weather. So this year, I decided to go into CreepMas, which is like a creepy Christmas. So I've been DIYing a lot of ornaments for that. My finger strength sometimes isn't all that great, so that's why I'm using the pliers, because it'll definitely help save your thumb and fingers from being sore with the pressure of putting this into it. We're almost in there. And I'm going to do like a little test. It seems to be pretty secure in place, but I'm going to do one more twist. So now that is on there nice and snug. Okay, so now we got our hook on here, and we're going to figure out how we want to place these guys. Actually, let me see how. Okay, so the gun is ready. Sorry, so what we're going to do is we're going to line a bead of hot glue onto the fern, and then put our berries, holly berries, on top of that. Kind of like hold that there for a second to give it time to do its magic. So you're going to want a generous amount of glue for this part. Then just kind of like hold it there for a couple of seconds till it's set. And then what I like to do is do like another coat of the hot glue over on top of that. Make sure that it's nice and secure. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did with this onto the other piece. Kind of like this one being down a little bit like that, but probably should tuck it in more. Or I might snip this some, I don't know. Right, just kind of like place it there, let it set. I'm going to grab another piece of hot glue onto the side so that way I'll be ready for when that needs to be replaced. All right, so while we're letting these cool, I'm going to go ahead and snip, or actually, you know, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and snip and set these over to the side to let them cool, because you don't want to be playing with that while it's hot. So while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and trim a few more of these down. So did you guys have a good Halloween and Thanksgiving? I know Thanksgiving and Halloween have both passed, but if you can't tell, those are my absolute favorite holidays. So, and Christmas is a lot of fun too. We're still kind of setting up for that and decorating, but I wanted to take advantage of this beautiful weather that we're having today. It's like in a nice 70s. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's warm enough to actually get outside and do something. So taking advantage of that. And wanted to come out here and paint my skulls. All right, so 2, 4, 6. Now I got these picks from Hobby Lobby. So you might still be able to get them online, but I know the in-store location that I go to, they're out. They are out. So that was kind of disappointing because I went back there yesterday because I wanted to get some more of the poinsettias, because I got these beautiful fluffy red velvet poinsettias on my black tree too for Christmas. And I was like, you know what, these are nice. I want to get some more for filler. And they were out. And they're sold out online too. So much for that idea. But maybe they'll be nice and bring it back next year. Sometimes they revitalize, bring stuff back. So maybe they'll be nice and do that again for next year. So then I can just add to the collection of what I have. All right, so these might be cool enough now. Yes. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we got our skull, we got our pieces. They're cool enough now to touch. All right, so I'm gonna bend it slightly to go with the curvature of the skull top. And I'm gonna try to get an idea of where I want to set this. I might have made this one a little bit too long because it's going to be like it's giving it bangs. So I might snip the end of that. I don't know. But I'm figuring it out. Seeing how we want to place this. Because we want to make sure that we leave the eye hook available on top. So that way you can have your ribbon and your bow. So that way the bow kind of covers it up so you can't really see it. But let's see. So once we get that figured out where we want to place it, you're going to do a bead of hot glue along that area. All right, so I'm kind of liking it like this. I think I am going to snip that edge a little bit there. And again, be careful of the sharp edges. We don't want to accidentally prick ourselves. All right, because that is wire, it will be sharp. So be careful with that. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so we're going in this motion with it. So we're going to grab the hot glue gun. And make a nice thick bead of glue. Take your greenery and just kind of hold that in place. Now you can accent your skulls however you want to. You can do it with like the tinsel garland. That might be pretty also. Give it a little pop of color there, a little shiny. Because, you know, crow brain sometimes it likes the shiny. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to put this other one. I think I'm going to go it in this direction. So we're going to set that over to the side. Move these guys, or try to move these guys. They don't want to move, so fine. And we're going to go it in this direction. Again, you're going to use a nice thick bead of glue to help hold that in place. Take your stem, put it on top, and hold it so that way it'll adhere to your skull. Right, so we got that. Okay, Now this one I'm gonna go with the black, and we're gonna for the ribbon, and we're gonna go with the ruler. He recommended going with the 6 inches, but I like to have it dangle a little bit more, so I'm gonna bump it up to like 7 or 8. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need to get some more ribbon. Almost out. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna go to the. I think I'm going to go to the 8, because then that'll give us a little bit more of the dangle. We'll might do 7. See how it looks at 7. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so take your scissors, cut it to place. All right, now, if y'all are a kid that is watching this, please have an adult help you with this part for the lighter. You just kind of like glide it across, right? Give that time for it to cool, because we don't want to burn ourselves while we're making and crafting. All right, you're going to take your ribbon, string it through the eye hook. That's not wanting to go through, so let me pinch it a little bit. Maybe that'll help do so better. There we go. Right, string it through and then make a little knot on the top. Now, if you don't want to add the little bow on the end, then you can call this done and it is finished. But I want to cover that up, so I'm going to go with a little ribbon. Pull the ribbon out of the pack. And it's just a little extra step sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to be a little fancy. So we got the ribbon that has the little twisty ties on the back. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to overlap it and string it and then twist on the eye hook. Right, so we got our eye hook here that's holding the ribbon. We're going to bring in one side and pull it. Now we're going to take the other piece here, bring it through the other side. Trying to find it. There we are. And then pull it, make it tight. And what I like to do is lift the bow up and then twist it underneath it, so that way it kind of camouflages it. Right, so we got that. I'm gonna tuck it, put our bow back down. So we got this beautiful red bow on it. And that is how you do your DIY skull ornament for CreepMas. So hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Check back in to see what other fun stuff that we're doing here with Blue Panda Gallery. And I hope you guys have a lovely, awesome day. And thanks for watching. Bye.